Hello, everybody. This is the Public Works Committee meeting. Can I get a roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Rosemary Brown,
Present.
Garrett Burkhalter, who will be joining us in a few moments. Pamela Fitzgerald.
Here.
All right, we're going to have the reading and disposal of the last meeting, which was March 4th, 2020. Did you have a chance to read over the minutes, Ms. Fitzgerald?
Yes, just finished. Thank you.
Okay. Make it a motion. For
I make
approval.
them.
Brown.
Oh, sorry, Tony.
Yeah.
Even though the cost of the engineer's estimated cost of Retina and Chester Road is stated on there, you all know that the actual cost has for Retina Terrace has increased and decreased on Chester Road, south end.
Yeah, these minutes are just whatever happened and during that meeting. So they're
Right.
just recorded as of that
Right.
date during the meeting. So we know things can change.
Okay, but I just want to make a note so there be no surprises down the road, like you said in this particular minutes or so.
Yeah, because those are previous minutes. So the note was taken, I think, during the CAL meeting or
Right.
the last meeting we had. It should have been
Right.
noted the difference of increase in those jobs.
Right. Okay.
You can give us an update on it, Tony.
But I'll make a motion. I need to make a motion for the minutes, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I make a motion to approve the prior minutes for the Public Works from not November 4th, for March 4th, 2020.
I second it. Okay. We're going to go right into our minutes, our meeting agenda. First item on the agenda, Mr. Brown, is road maintenance updates and upcoming projects. Give us a brief.
If you all refer to the spreadsheet with the road preservation program, which is actually the incorrect one that I sent Monica, it should have been a different one. However, it's pretty, those actual construction costs on some of the roads have actually changed. But anyhow, you requested an update on all the roads that was been completed or in the process of being under construction right now, which would be Shady Lane, Riddle Road, Jones Alley, south end of Chester Road.
Okay.
Shady Lane is, they're working off a punch list right now. Some minor stuff they need to complete, but for the most part, it's completed.
So
go ahead.
I'm sorry. The cost that's written down here, the $261,000, is that correct?
No, that's not incorrect. In fact, Shady Lane increased above what we initially stated was going to cost because they ran into some issues such as soft spots. A geotech needed to be called to make the corrections or give guidance on how to correct the soft spots. Couple water lines were damaged. More material such as 304 mix and asphalt was required and so forth. So which equates to more man hours. So that price is going to increase. We have not got the total cost of all the repairs and man hours and so forth, because we had to use some of the, well, most of it, not all of it, all the contingency funds and so forth. So we have not got that cost yet, but I requested it last week. So hopefully we'll have it by Friday.
Okay.
I'll make sure the manager gets that information.
Mm.
Riddle Road, as you know, is completed. Everybody seems to be happy.
What about that cost?
That cost increased as well. Don't have that cost yet either. Jones Alley came in under 12,300. I believe it was like maybe $600 or $700 under what was actually proposed. Don't have that number. Again, this is the wrong spreadsheet, and I'll get you all the spreadsheet I should have sent. Chester Road is, the paving is completed. In fact, they should have been done this evening with striping the south end of Chester Road. That came in approximately 166,000, which was under by, I want to say, about 40-some thousand dollars. Came in.
So it was what, at 199 or something like that?
Yeah, about 199, but it came in because we didn't use the SAMI.
Okay.
So that came in under.
Okay. I'm sorry. When you send us the correct spreadsheet, will you make your notations on there? Hopefully you'll have the cost that you can put that on there.
Okay, will do.
And also, Tony, I think it would be beneficial for us to see the proposed amount and then the actual amount.
Okay. Or
and
if
then
you want,
if
you
it's,
can
and
go.
then just make them some quick notes if it's over, so we can try to understand that.
Okay, will do.
So the costs that you have listed here on this spreadsheet, are those the proposed amounts?
Or say that again.
The costs that you have on the spreadsheet that we have in front of us, are those the cost?
Yes.
Okay. So that cost plus the actual cost will be on the new spreadsheet.
Right. And actually, the new cost will be on there to include what the overage was.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
And then if you just put a column over there that says, like you just told us about Chester 166, and then just put, why it's under.
Under, okay.
So we kind of understand that and try to build something off of that, since you're going to continue doing roads.
Okay. The next, you wanted to know what the next road would be done. Before I'll say which roads will be done next, you all need to be made aware that the manager has signed off on the application for the SCIP application, which is State Capital Improvement Program for Retina Terrace. Retina Terrace, the estimated cost was like $900,000. And I believe the manager and the finance director got together and made the decision to take out a loan, a small loan, and a grant to include matching funds. So, and make payments on it, I think over, I want to say a 10-year period. Don't quote me on that, but I believe he said he's want to take it out and spread it over a 10-year period. That's the way he wants to approach Retina Terrace, because Retina Terrace is going to be expensive because it's concrete. And the base of the road is also so damaged that it's going to be costly. However, it is in the business district, one of our business district. And as you all know, that is our bread and butter. So we need to take care of that. And that's something we probably should have done a long time ago. However, we didn't have the money at the time like we do now because of the road levy. The other application he submitted was OPWC or MRF, OPWC, for the north end of Chester. So we hope we'll get that as well. Both applications have been submitted by the engineer. One was due this past Friday and the other one is due this Thursday, I believe. So they both will be submitted on time with matching funds and so forth. So
what was the other street? You said Retina Terrace, and what was
the north end of Chester?
What's that again?
the north end of Chester,
North end. Oh, okay, got it.
opposite side of
Yeah.
Glendale. Milford.
Yep, I didn't hear the first part. Yes.
We also
Municipal
gonna
road
apply for
funds, Mr. Brown? Did you say municipal road funds?
municipal funds. Yep.
Thank
We also going to apply for skip funding again for Lee Crest as well. I'm sorry, MRF for Lee Crest.
Mhm.
So that'll also be approximately $200,000 matching funds. That may, because of the cost of Retina Terrace, that may change. That's going to be up to the manager. It's also going to hinge on how much money we got in the kittle from the municipal road funds. So
So are you saying the 900,000 would cover Retina and
no, Retina Terrace by itself.
it's Retina by itself? It's
Retina
not Chester.
by
It's
itself.
Retina.
It's gonna be
Wow. Okay.
$900,000. Yeah,
So he wants to take out a loan for that.
it's a partial loan, grant, and matching funds.
Right, but doesn't know how much that's going to be until he finds out how much he may be eligible for.
Well, he knows how much. I'm not sure how. I know for sure that he wanted to put up $200,000 matching fund, but how much of a loan versus the grant, I'm not sure what the percentage was he was looking to submit.
Okay.
But I know that it was signed off on yesterday, and the engineer came by to pick it up today. So.
Okay.
So the other roads that we need to look at, maybe Forest Drive, Timberland and Timberview, Woodstock, Sheffield, Hillsmith, and Skillman. Now the manager may have a different, he may disagree with the road that I have slated here on your spreadsheet, but it's going to be totally up to him. But what we do know and agree on is we have to do something for the residents and the business alike, because the residents are the one who voted on this, and the business are our bread and butter. So.
Well, I'll tell you, I've been getting so much positive feedback on Chester regularly. I walked yesterday, and people were saying they were excited about Chester Road. They couldn't believe it had been done. So we are getting some very positive feedback on Chester.
Yep. Yes. Long time coming, but it's done.
Yes.
I just have a problem with the position of some of these roads. And I guess that's gonna have to be a later conversation.
I'm sorry, you got a problem with what? Say that again.
Positions on this list of some of the roads. Because I'm seeing Woodstock down here at the bottom, you got Timberview and Timberland, and then you got Woodstock down below that. Woodstock is in worse shape than Timberview.
Right, I understand what you're saying, and the manager said the same thing, but what you fail to understand is the reason why these streets are in bad shape is because we failed to plan to take care of them. So now that we got money to do this, you need to we need to focus on taking care of some of the streets that are not in such dire need, whereas it won't be as costly to repair them, such as Timberland and Timberview.
Is that just to extend the life of it, Tony?
Exactly. You want to extend the shelf life of that street by doing something to it where it won't be as costly as doing something to a Woodstock. Because we waited so long to do something to Woodstock, Woodstock may be costly now.
But you have potholes and everything else on Woodstock.
You do, but just imagine, if we don't do something to Timberland and Timberview, it's going to be in the same shape.
Well, that's not fair to the residents that's lived on Woodstock and have had to drive over those bumpy roads for I don't know how long.
Well, we're going to have to go up there.
There can be a further discussion. Mr. Burkhalter, I see Mr. Burkhalter has logged in.
And
yes, I just said I agree with you, Ms. Brown.
I beg your pardon?
I just said I agree with you.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, that plan actually came from our engineer. It didn't just come from me. And it came from our engineer. That's what you want to do. You want to preserve some of your best streets, or the streets won't cost as much to perform some level of maintenance. And at the same time, you're extending the shelf life of it. And again, we waited so long to do something to Woodstock, it's going to be costly now. That's why it's in the condition it is in.
Right, we can have further discussion on this, and I'll have discussion with the village manager.
Okay.
But I most definitely am not in agreement with this list as it is.
Well, one of the things,
Yeah,
Mr. Brown,
this isn't a permanent list because he
Sorry, hold on,
he
just
had
a moment.
issues with it as well.
I'm sorry.
I said, this isn't a permanent list. This
Okay,
isn't going to be the gospel. As he said, he wants to go out and go out for observation and decide which roads need to be done first.
okay.
So,
They probably need to reevaluate the list, Ms. Brown.
Well, we have a list already. We've had a list for years already.
and on that list you had, Timberland and Timberview was almost at the top
I'll have to look at that and verify that.
because it required less
I
maintenance.
don't recall that.
I don't recall it being at the top almost either.
I believe you.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Burkhalter.
And I'm driving. That's why I don't have my video going. But I'm listening to you, Mr. Brown, and I understand what you're saying, but I don't. So if you allow a Woodstock to get even worse, sir, it's going to cost more money to repair.
Mhm.
That's right. But again, if you think about
Right.
it,
What I'm
it's
saying
a
is, so
condition because
if you don't
but
address
that's why.
it,
It makes no sense.
It's
if
in
you
that
don't
condition because of why.
but if you don't address it now, you're letting it get even more worse and cost even more money.
But so what you're saying is you refer to let one of your prominent streets go get worse, so it's going to cost you just as much, where it would cost you less right now. Right now, we got an estimate from the engineer where
I
doing a Cape
prefer
seal
to fix the streets that are.
review. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I kind of look at it like you're doing preventative maintenance on Timberland
Exactly.
when you need emergency surgery on Woodstock.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it, but you know what? It got that way because that's all we were doing is treating a heart attack with Band-Aids.
Yeah.
But again, more to come. So,
Okay.
and the manager, he disagrees with this list as well. So, but, you know, this is something the engineers and I came up with. So,
All right, Ms. Boyd.
Thank you. How long, Tony, would it take, just a ballpark figure, how long would it take to do Woodstock opposed to Timberland? Is it going to take a whole lot more time on Woodstock?
and it's going to take more material and labor to do Woodstock because of the condition it's in. But also, you got to keep in mind all of this, our street preservation plan also hinges on how much money the village generate from the road the road levy. Because I can tell you right now, with Retina Terrace estimated at $900,000, that's a nice chunk of change. He's talking about maybe every bit of probably $500,000 coming out of the road levy.
So they all take about the same amount of time, just one takes more material or more cost?
No, all of them, you know, it depends on the street and the condition that the street is in. But Retina Terrace, because it's concrete and the condition is in, that's why they estimated that so high.
So does anybody live on Retina Terrace?
That's a business area. It's off
Off of Chester?
Right, you can get to either Chester or Glendale.
Okay, all right.
Iconic.
I kind of agree with Rosemary and Doobie also that you should, if Woodstock is the worst, I kind of agree with them as well. I understand what you're saying. It makes perfect sense, but I don't know that the residents will understand that. And they may be very upset, so.
Hey, Tony, when was this list evaluated?
This particular list in front of you?
Yes.
About 2 months ago. The manager and I sat down and we discussed it.
We have a copy of the old list, right?
You should.
If somebody doesn't have it, can you send it to us in an email? Do you have it in the email?
Okay.
All right. Are there any other questions regarding, well, go ahead. You were giving us an update.
I'm sorry.
You were giving us an update.
That's all I had for the roads. Unless somebody has a question.
Another question.
Okay, Ms. Boyd.
If you also, when you get ready to, or I know you're doing some of the repairs now, but however you decided, maybe giving out sending something out or putting it on the website explaining why we made the choices that were made. We're doing, Burns Avenue first, and then we're doing, I don't know, Springfield Pike second, but to explain why we did it in that order, so that if constituents may call and complain, but we can guide them to the website or give them something so that they understand.
That's a great idea, Ms. Boyd. In fact, Ashley posted the street preservation program, the map. It should be on our website now. Mm-hmm. And if you refer to the legend will tell you what the streets themselves are color coded.
Okay.
And if you go to the legend, it tell you what each color represent, whether it needs a full depth mill, okay, or a Cape seal, or a mill and overlay. And then it has some dollar figures, okay, at the end of each type of level of service the road may require. Mm-hmm. It may be $1 sign, which means the bare minimum. It may be 2, which is the next level cost or whatnot. Mm-hmm. It goes from 1 to 4 dollar signs and forth, indicating least expensive to the most expensive. And then again, it tells you what level of service that particular road may require. So it should be posted on our website. Ashley said she was going to post it about a month ago. So that's a great idea. So the residents would have a better understanding what the costs, are not the actual cost, but whether or not it can be expensive.
The decision-making process of why.
Exactly. Yeah. Now you got to keep in mind that the road levy line item plays a big part in that, because we can only do so many roads a year, depending on how much money we have available or on hand. So.
Okay. All right. Upcoming projects, you covered that.
Fire hydrants. As you all know, we got about 23 fire hydrants out of service. I was just told today that 4 to 5 hydrants have been repaired. I know the one on Timberland, at the back end of Timberland next to my house, was repaired about 2 weeks ago. 2 more were repaired on Springfield Pike, one right across the street from the fire department. I want to say the other one is up near Warren, or close by Warren Avenue. I'm not sure where the other 3 may be, but I'm working with the fire department to keep track of that. So more to come on that. We the manager and the finance director put in a line item approximately $10,000. So hopefully that'll carry us pretty far. So,
is that 5 out of 22?
Correct. The goal was to try to do 10 per year, but that all hinges on what level of service that hydrant may require. But some of them need to be, you need a complete hydrant, which can be pretty costly.
Okay. All right.
So I do have another question. So do we plan to do any more soon? You don't know, because you don't know how much that $10,000 we had
Gonna carry us. I don't know.
I just think that the fire hydrant seemed, maybe I don't know enough, but that seems pretty like it needs to be an emergency fix for me.
I agree.
Sounds like more of an emergency to have a hydrant running, because you never know when there's going to be an emergency. So I get a little nervous when I hear we've only done 5 out of 22, and what's the plan for the other ones?
Well, the goal is to get as many as we can with that $10,000. again, it all hinges on which ones they're gonna go to first, or which ones the fire department designated as critical opposed to being non-critical. However, all of them should be considered critical.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with
But you
that.
gotta
Is there
use-
any way?
You got to approach it from a strategic standpoint because you want to stretch that dollar.
I get that, but I'm still concerned that it's a fire hydrant. I don't know, Rosemary, how you feel?
I feel the same way.
I mean, I just think
But
that it's
I
just
do.
waiting to be a problem if we don't get those fixed. I don't think we should wait. If it's we need to try to figure out how to get those repaired.
The finance director mentioned in the finance committee meeting last month about he is looking into charging the residents maybe $1 a month to generate some funds. That way we can just get we should be able to get all of them fixed over
But even with that, that's
a
gonna
year
take,
period.
yeah.
It would take some time to generate the funds that needed, but however, that'd be a great approach to have funds to get all of them replaced and maintain them on an annual basis.
Yeah.
So more to come with that. I believe he's already reached out to Waterworks, who's agreed to collect the funds for us and wouldn't charge us anything to collect that revenue.
So Tony, I have another question. So for the other hydrants, do they have to be evaluated so we know? So say for instance, there's 2 that need to be fully repaired. Is that information that you can get for us? Because if it's 20,000 to fix all of them, I think we should look into trying to see how to get that done soon.
Well, I wouldn't know how much the total cost is again, because I don't know which ones need what. That's something that the fire department would know, and Hamilton County, who's actually performing the labor, they would know. So, but $20,000 would go a long way, I would imagine.
Okay. Can you reach out to Amos and see if they are presently doing any kind of lookup to see exactly which fire hydrants need to be totally replaced, or
You do have a list. I just don't have it here with me tonight. There's an actual list of where the fire hydrants are located, what level of service is required, whether it needs to be a stem or whether it needs to be completely replaced. So all that information is available. He has it.
Okay.
And Hamilton County has it as well.
Okay. I guess we can get it from him in our safety meeting.
Yep.
Okay. He may have given that to us.
I believe he has. I know he did a couple years ago when this matter came up.
Okay. All right. The next item.
Stormwater projects. 195 Grove, that project is completed. It has a couple issues and so forth, so we're working with crews to correct them and so forth. However, the pipe is in place, the head wall, the ground was hydroseeded, so grass is growing and it came out pretty good. They just got some minor things they need to go back and do. So, but other than that, it came out pretty good. I've heard from Hamilton County Stormwater District today from Todd Long, who's the manager of Hamilton County Stormwater. The manager asked me to reach out to him and see what was the going price or the cost for the village to go back under Hamilton County Stormwater District, which I think is a great idea. I personally believe that the village should not be in the business of trying to manage its own stormwater. We got some issues here in this village that we just can't afford to take care of or address. Not only that, we don't have the expertise or the manpower to do that that's truly needed in order to be effective and efficient to be in the MS4 status. In fact, our mapping is out of date. You are required to have that mapping, your stormwater mapping, up to date on an annual basis. As you all know, we got Arnold Drive. So Arnold Drive is not on there. We got a couple of construction sites going on today. where they got some outfalls that they installed. That's not on there. So mapping alone, I reached out to an engineering firm that does that type of work, and I was told that it's like over $100 an hour just to do the mapping. And again, we're actually out of compliance because our mapping is not up to par.
When we got out of the stormwater with Hamilton County, we were looking at upwards of $40,000.
That's true.
Okay. And we did have Terry, one of your workers, who does that work, right? He does a certain portion of that. Also, the engineering firm that we have, they were supposed to be doing some of that reporting that needs to be done yearly. And I understand they were supposed to be doing some of the mapping too.
They did do the mapping. However, the village decided not to continue to pay them on an annual basis.
The engineering firm, our engineers, IBI?
Not IBI. IBI, all they do is do our annual notice of intent report. That's the only thing they do. Now, they may go out and take a look at a collapsed outfall or stormwater pipe, but that's about it. As far as the mapping and whatnot, they don't do any mapping. They don't do any outfall inspections. They don't go and investigate illicit discharges. That's something we do. And again, we just can't do it. We don't have the manpower, the expertise. The mapping alone, it's expensive. And again, we're out of compliance. We've been out of compliance for some time now.
I kind of remember that if I'm not mistaken, our engineering firm, that was supposed to be part of their contract. I could be mistaken.
When you say engineering firm, who are you referring? MEIBI?
Yes.
No, Ms. Brown, all they do is our notice of intent report on an annual basis. That's it. Okay. I strongly recommend that we go back under Hamilton County Stormwater District and get out of that business. Again, we don't have the manpower or the expertise. Communities or municipalities like Springdale, they're MS4 as well. They have the manpower and the expertise. Even though they have all of that, they still contract out the mapping. They still contract out the inspections. They still have to call outside organizations when they have illicit discharges and so forth. So they can afford that. They're a city and we're a village. I get it. But on that same note, I think we're asking for trouble trying to maintain a stormwater program here. And the manager agrees with me. He said he was planning on speaking to council as a whole once he gets this information that I have, which I received today from Hamilton County Stormwater District. So you'll probably be hearing from him, and I don't know, one of the meetings, maybe in a council meeting at the end of the month.
So if that was, if that was, we've been out of that for about what, 4 years or so?
Oh no, longer than that. Before Ms. Kovac departed.
Okay, so it was $40,000 then. We were looking at,
44,000.
I can imagine what it is now.
44. I believe I want to say 44,000, but don't quote me on that. Yeah, matter of fact, it is 44,000. I got it right here in front of me. This is what I received. Well, you can't see it, but this is what I received today from Hamilton County Stormwater District. So,
Ms. Brown, can I say something?
Sure, go ahead.
Tony, back when we did that, and this what happens with us a lot of times, we were encouraged to talk to so that we didn't need Hamilton County Stormwater because we could do it in-house. We even sent Terry or whoever to get trained, even increase salaries because that was a part of their new duties.
You're exactly right.
But now we're saying we want to go back to them when we put out money to train people and increase salaries to do that position.
Right.
The council did, you're right, the council did. However, I was totally against that. I strongly recommended that we not do that. We stay up under Hamilton County, regardless if you're gonna send somebody to training. You basically need to be almost an engineer to do this level of work.
And do you remember, Mr. Burkhalter, that the engineering firm that we have, they were supposed to take on, I believe, more than just doing that yearly memo, yearly letter.
Right. I thought they were working hand in hand with Terry.
I agree.
They'll go out and look at, and they did. They came out and looked at the retention ponds up at the Arnold Drive or the Woodview, or what is that up there? They went up there and took a look at the retention pond. Well, anytime he needed some assistance, yes, they came out and provided assistance and whatnot and guidance on how to proceed with addressing the problem. However, I strongly believe we need to go back under Hamilton County Stormwater District. And again, the manager feels the same way, and he said he's going to discuss this with you all, council as a whole.
Do you have anything else, Mr. Burkhalter?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, I'll look forward to that discussion. What's next?
Winter operations, you inquired about the winter operations. Yeah, we have 3 plow trucks on hand now. We got our Ford F-550 back. It's up and running. We got approximately 700 tons of salt on hand. This year, received a contract from Morton Salt. They wanted $62 a ton. I recommended to Jerry, or the manager, and the finance director that we not purchase no more than 100 tons, or agree to purchase no more than 100 tons with Morton Salt, because the amount of salt we got on hand right now. And if we should go through that salt, we have the we can always reach out to them and purchase more. Maybe not at that price since we coming back after the fact, but we have the option to purchase more.
Past years, what have we used in the last couple of years?
Last year, everybody basically got burnt because everybody bought all that salt under Hamilton County. We rode in on Hamilton County's tail, and they were at $69 a ton, something like that. And we didn't even have a bad winter. The winter before, 2018 wasn't bad as well, but we didn't purchase that much salt. In fact, I believe we only used purchased maybe 300 tons in 2018. 2019, we purchased, I want to say 400 or 500 tons, and we got stuck with it. That's why we got so much salt right now.
Right.
And we didn't have a bad winter. But the bad thing is about when you're purchasing salt, you don't know what kind of winter we're going to have.
Right.
So you don't know whether to purchase, max out, purchase the max, purchase the minimum. But what we do know is shop around before you just go with anybody, because a lot of municipalities went up under Hamilton County and purchased that high dollar price of salt per ton. Morton came in and underbidded everybody. It was like maybe $15 less than what Hamilton County was offering under their contract. So
your recommendation is that we only maybe order 100 tons
this year,
700.
we got 700 on hand, right? Approximately 700 tons on hand. So I recommended that we not purchase or sign a contract for no more than 100 tons.
Okay.
I got a quick question for Tony.
Okay, Mr. Lawson.
It's lost.
Yeah, so if the village runs out of salt and we have to order more salt, they won't get salty, will they?
No, you have no pun intended, huh? You have the option to go back and purchase more, but it may not be at the price that they originally offered.
Okay.
I have a question. I have a question. Is there an additive that we can add to the salt?
We do. We use I'm sorry. We use liquid calcium, I'm sorry.
And that was,
Liquid calcium.
okay, and that makes the salt go further, right?
It do. It
Okay.
makes the salt more effective. It activates once the cars roll over, the traffic run through it, it activates, start melting the salt quicker.
So do we have that additive?
We have a 500 gallon container that holds the liquid calcium.
Okay,
And we have the 2 large dump trucks that has the sprayer system on it.
okay,
The smaller dump truck don't have it, so.
all right. Ms. Boyd?
Tony, does salt have a shelf life, the salt itself?
It do. As long as you protect it from the elements, which we do, that's 2 salt bins. The top of the salt, even though they get wet or snow on it or whatnot, or the sun beat it down, it gets hard on top. But once you break it up or they start digging underneath, it's good.
Okay.
Okay. And you have any further plans for the winter?
Not really. We got what, 4, let's see, 3, 4 days. We got 4 operators with CDLs, 1 in the process of getting our CDL. So we'll have we actually got 6 of them. All 6 of us can operate the vehicles. Of course, only 1 of the dump trucks got air brakes. So, and again, we got 5 people with CDL. So we're good on that end.
Are we bringing in any contractual help this season?
We got 2 applications today. Well, 1 last week and 1 today for the seasonal workers. The reason why we didn't hire them at the time we usually hire them 1 April is because the COVID virus hit, and the manager felt that we didn't have enough vehicles to get everybody around because he only allowed two people per vehicle. And at that time, we only had we only had 2 trucks at the time because 2 of them was in the shop. So, but now that we got 3 pickup trucks and the F550 back, we can get people around now. So he has the applications on his desk. I'm just waiting on him to approve the hiring of the 2 seasonal workers, and we put them to work.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any questions? Okay. All right. Next item, street cleaning.
You know, when I first started here, the public works budget, we were authorized the budget to have our streets swept 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
So this was in 2009 when I first started. Probably all the way up for the next 4 years, we were getting our streets swept anywhere from 6 to 3 times a year. As the budget starts shrinking or scaling back, we had to cut back somewhere. So that was one of the areas we had to cut back on. So this year and last year, we were only able to pay for 2 street sweeps.
Mm-hmm.
So, I strongly recommend we put more money into that line item to better care for our street, because a 3-day weekend, you can go up Chester Road, you can go down Marion Road, Springfield Pike. You see all kind of trash on
Okay.
a weekend. So that's why we truly need to either put more money in that line item. In fact, about 2 years ago, I reached out and made contact with the Village of Lincoln Heights, and we agreed to go in a partnership to buy or purchase a street sweeper, which would have been a great idea. If we both put up maybe $40,000, we could have got a used street sweeper out of Indiana. But the powers that be thought it was a bad idea, and here we are still paying $2,000 a sweep.
$2,000 a sweep.
Oh yeah, it cost $2,000. When I first started here, it was like $1,200. So I've been here a little over 12 years now, and it's up to $2,000.
Same area?
Same streets. Well, we got the one new street now. We got the Arnold Drive.
Mm-hmm.
It's done increase up to $2,100 now.
Okay. I don't know what the schedule is as to when you do it. for the street sweeping. But I was just gonna
Once in
make
the
a
spring and once late summer.
Okay. Well, if we get more money in that line item, and we're able to do it more often, if one of the dates or times could be after the 4th of July,
Mhm.
okay? Because even though people, when they're shooting off their fireworks, a lot of them will go up and sweep at the street.
Yep.
But not all of them do.
I know. Yeah, point. That's a good point.
So if it could be scheduled for after the 4th of July,
Okay.
okay? And $100, I don't see that as being really that bad, where we couldn't afford to put more money in that line item to have that done more often.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What's the cost of the street sweeper if we own one?
You're saying what would it cost
Did
to
you-
purchase one?
Yeah, did you say that there was one that you wanted to purchase at one time? Did you say?
Yeah, there was a used from Best Equipment out of Indiana. He contacted me and asked me were the village still interested in purchasing a street sweeper. He had a used street sweeper. It was a 2010, and I want to say it was like 88,000.
Ooh, yeah, I knew they were expensive. That's why I asked. We used to have them in the warehouse, and they were pretty expensive.
Yeah.
It was 88,000. So you just think of how many you only spend $4,000 to $6,000 a year to pay to get a sweep, to put it on a line item instead of paying that 88,000 because you have to pay the cost to keep that equipment up. So if it breaks down, you're still
Exactly.
entitled to cost, to spend it to get it back up and running. So I was just wondering, I wasn't sure of the cost. So
That's exactly what I was going to say. The idea of possibly or even considering purchase a used one, not knowing what kind of condition it's in or what,
Well, it even came with a
a lot of
warranty.
times they come with warranties, but they can be pretty expensive.
But this is used already. So
Yeah, but the life on them are usually really long.
They are.
So even though we say 2010, and they have a very long shelf life.
They do. Because imagine you only use them from the spring to the end of the fall.
Yeah, that's
And,
pretty. That's 100,000. So you might as well round it up. It's pretty expensive.
that's pretty
It's
expensive.
expensive, but that is the reason why I wanted to go in on it with Lincoln Heights, partnership with Lincoln Heights, so we could share it.
Yeah, but who pays the cost when it breaks down? You just
Right.
split the cost.
Share the costs.
Does,
Yeah, that sounds
They-
wonderful.
They were on board with it at the time.
Oh, okay.
That was a great idea. I mean,
Does
you
it-
go down to Lachlan and the Lachlan's and the Wyomings and the Springdales, they sweep 3 times a week.
They have.
That's probably why their streets look just to be honest, a lot of those areas, their streets look very clean. They
Right.
do.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they have spent that money on sweeping. Maybe.
I don't know what the priority is.
That's more manpower too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, we can always use more manpower, but push comes to shove, I'll mount up in there just to keep the capital B in the word beautiful Woodlawn.
So we probably just need to look into adding more money to that line item, maybe doing it a little bit more
More often
if we can.
as opposed to.
You know what that line item is? I have the budget right in front of me. Just curious. Do you know that line item, Tony?
Street maintenance.
It's just street maintenance? Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you.
Mhm.
But the purchase itself would be a purchase of the street sweeper would be up under a capital purchase. That it'll be up where that line item. But the cost of street
88,000.
sweep is under.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, I told you wrong. That's under oh God, refuse collection. Refuse collection, 1,561.
Okay. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Got it.
Ms. Boyd, did you have a question?
I did, but I forgot, but it wasn't important.
Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, what's next, Mr. Your public works fleet? I think you kind of touched on that.
Yeah, if you look at the report I forwarded to you, this is a spreadsheet down at the bottom. It shows you all our current vehicles and so forth, the year, some of the latest repairs was completed. And then at the very bottom, we got that top kick, which is the leaf truck and the GMC International Packer and so forth, which I recommend that we rotate those two vehicles out. In fact, I spoke with the finance director about 2 months ago. He is looking into purchasing a new plow truck. It'll work. It will have a dual capacity the fall time, and we'll use it as the leaf truck with the leaf box on the back. Wintertime, we'll mount the plow on it and use it as a plow truck. So we'll get our money's worth out of it.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that, because I was going to ask you if you've been talking with the finance director and the village manager as far as rotation.
Yep.
For your equipment.
Yeah.
To hear that they're looking into that, because that leaf truck we have now looks absolutely horrible. Every time I see it, I want to run out there with a can of spray paint. Okay. It looks horrible.
It do, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Should have been rotated out a long time prior to me coming here. It should have been rotated out.
Okay. Well, will you keep up conversations with that? And Pam?
Yes.
Could you see or remind Tim to see if he can speak on that in finance? To see where we're at on that.
What was that again? You want Tim to, you want me to add to my agenda? What's the topic again?
For the leaf truck.
Okay.
The
Got it.
conversation him and Mr. Brown had regarding the leaf, looking into a new leaf truck.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions about the fleet?
No, that's it.
Next is public works staff. You asked what's the status of our staff?
Mm-hmm.
You asked, I guess, how many people we have?
Your staff, yes. I
At the
see
very
here,
bottom, flip it over on the back. And
yeah, you've got the one senior equipment operator. You
Correct.
have 3 equipment operators, 1 maintenance worker.
Correct.
You're budgeted for 2 seasonal workers.
Correct.
Is that correct?
I'm sorry?
That's correct. You're budgeted for
That's correct.
2 seasonal
Yeah.
workers.
Yeah. We normally get 4, but this year we're only authorized 2.
Are you in need of other
Absolutely.
permanent workers?
Oh yeah. We need this time of the year. Actually, from the spring all the way up to the fall, we need more workers. And I say that because when I first came on board, I don't know if you all are aware, from 2009, between 2009 and 2012, all 4 of the workers down in the public works had workman comp claims.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you recall, the winter of 2011, actually the fall of 2011, Terry Meadows, Marlon Matthews, and Marquise Lindsay, they all went out. They were out because they had surgery from workman comp claims. Terry Calhoun was scheduled to go out as well at the same, all 4 of them went out within a 3-month period, were scheduled for surgeries. Mm-hmm. Terry Calhoun put his surgery off because I was the only one left in the department. And we picked up leaves, just us 2. We picked up the leaves during that season. And it was just Terry Calhoun and myself plowing the streets that winter. You recall that?
I wasn't on council at the time, but I do remember
That's
hearing.
why we need more
about
people,
that.
because
So my
we do
question,
strenuous work around here, and it wears on the body.
to you is, if you had one or two more full-time employees, would you still be in the need of seasonal workers?
I would say two, that allow me to better rotate our people on vacation during that time, the spring and the summer and fall.
So if you had one or two more full-time employees, you would still be looking to have two
Yep. Yes, I
part-time?
could. We can go a long way. We can do a lot more things. I got two guys down there now that can that have facility maintenance skills. We could do facility maintenance, at the same time still maintain all the village-owned properties, street maintenance, infrastructure. If I had more people, we can do all of that simultaneously. Right now, I got to rotate doing this stuff. You see how long it took us to complete the project over in the police department? Because I couldn't have them go up there every day. I needed them to schedule it in maybe 2 days a week to go up and put the floor down, do the painting, ceiling tiles. I couldn't have them up every day because we had other stuff that had to be done. So, oh, you didn't know that they did that work over there, Ms. Brown? You look kind of.
Did you see my eyes go up?
Yeah, yeah. Take a look over there. I'm just a little worn out right now, but that Dave D. Armand and Donald Crawford did that work. And Lisa Forrest was over there with them some days, but for the most part, those two guys did that.
I'll have to take a walk over there and see what they're.
And we're not done. We didn't get a chance to finish it.
Okay.
So we didn't do the chief office, the office where Charlotte sits, and the records room. So we got more to do. It's just right now, and I can't afford to let them go up there and do that. So we got the more manpower, we can do a lot more.
So Tony, how do you prioritize that work?
Tuesdays and Thursdays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we taking care of village-owned properties such as grass cutting, street maintenance. Tuesdays and Thursdays, you either picking up brush or either picking up leaves now. So, and you got to remember, we only got 5 people. And you got to factor in vacations, people calling in sick. Of course, we got 1 day a week we do maintenance on the vehicles, not all day, but we to maintain the equipment in the vehicles and so forth. So, so yeah, we stretched thin.
Now, what's disheartening to me is the time and money that we put into clearing out the honeysuckle across the street from the municipal building.
Yep.
Also down there along the Mill Creek. That was so cleared out, and now it's all grown back.
We contract that out to Tyrone Williams, and he did a super job back in at the end of the spring. Did a great job. But it needs to be sprayed and it needs to be cut like twice a year. And I recommended that we continue to allow him to do that. Well, allegedly, it wasn't in the budget to do the contributory portion of the trail across the street from the municipal building. So that's why it's in the condition it's in now. Hey, it wasn't my call. I would like to see that done because when they got done with that project, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
I will tell you this much. The Mill Creek Alliance folks are very displeased with what they see. In fact, he told me that it would be very hard for the village to be granted some more funding for such a project in the future because we're not maintaining what we agreed to do or keep a property up over there or the trails, which was part of the agreement. So we received a lot of money for that project. I mean, a lot of money. Plus, we had a matching fund. Matching fund, what is it, $30,000? That's a lot of money to just throw away. So,
we did some cleaning out of that with the Mill Creek Alliance people. That Mr. Bennett, Bennett Cotter. Yeah, Mr. Bennett. And they had the high school students and junior high cleaning it out. That was probably fall last year. So
Yep.
Well, before that, I think that first year that we did it, a lot of us went down there and worked with them also to clean that out.
So Tony, when you're doing doing a 2021 budget with Tim, is this stuff that you're putting in the budget for possibly doing that needs to be completed when you talk about your budget piece of that?
Yes, I'll mention that during the capital, because it'll go up under capital, wouldn't be up under public works.
I just know that he has that tentative budget I have right here. So I was just wondering, you're saying these things, to me, those are the types of things that should be considered.
But again, you know, yeah, we should consider that, cleaning that up, but we also got to remember, we got some more dire things we need to attend to, like those fire hydrants.
Right. So when you talk about the tentative budget, those types of things, you should be having conversations with Tim and Jerry to try to get it in and fit it in.
Oh yeah, I've mentioned that to him the last go round, but at the time when we were in discussion with that, we didn't know the budget.
Did you put a budget in for more workers?
I have, but I can do that. However, it's going to take you as the chair of Public Works to get in somebody's ear to enforce that or give some guidance. Because every year I put in our budget 2 people, a vehicle, a lawnmower, but you know it always seemed to get cut. But I can only put it in the budget, but I can't make the finance director or the managers. You know, that's totally up to them to follow you all's guidance on cutback or either spend here or there. That's something that you all got to do. I can tell you what I need, but I can't enforce it. Or
I think you should put it in there. I think those things that you're telling us about is good that we know, so we can, you know, try to make those decisions. But we need to see it on that line and see how it affects the entire budget.
Well, if you notice, by the time you all get the budget, it's already cut out. And the next thing you know, it'll be like, why didn't you do that? Well, I can put it in there, but I can't make it stay there. So that's
right. So put it in. I'm glad you're having these conversations with us. Let's put it in there, and we can follow up with Tim to try to understand it as well. But you know, you're the manager. You manage that function, and so the things that you need to have it in there, and then we need to understand why it's in or why it's being taken out.
Right.
But if it's not in and we're not talking, we don't know.
Right. And if we don't,
it's not like I haven't told the committee, hey, I put in the budget to hire 2 people. Hey, I put in the budget to hire a truck. To buy a truck under capital. By the time it get to you all's desk or in front of you all, it's gone. So that's something you all have to go to them and say, in the Public Works committees, Anthony Brown said he need this. Is it possible he can get this to support or to support him to do what he's trying to do out here in the community? But if you all are not in somebody's ear, it ain't gonna happen. I mean, you could tell me to do that all day, but me, as the Public Works Director, don't control the budget.
Right. That sounds like some past practices too. We got Tim as our director. So we need to understand, when you say tentative, that's exactly what it is. It's tentative of what you think you need to be successful. And then what happens is the actual budget comes out, which is approved. And then we can understand things that have been taken out for various reasons to try to make sure that we're, you know, have the budget have budgeted correctly. But I think the directors of these departments need to have ownership of what they need, and you know, we can help try to drive that too, of what you need. And then the director, of course, you know, knows a full circle of why it should be or why it shouldn't be. So I think you should try to take advantage of our new director, of him understanding what you need, and so he can try to fit that in, if not 2021, you know, some of the 2022 or years to come. But I think you have to try to drive that too, Tony.
Oh, well, in fact, now that you mentioned that, if you refer to the charter, it says that the municipal manager has control over the agendas for any kind of meeting, whether it be a committee meeting or whether it's in a council meeting, what goes on this report or what's going to be reported.
I get that too.
That
Driver
should be changed because the manager should not have control over what goes on agenda, because past practices was take this off the agenda, take that off the agenda, take that off the agenda. We ain't discussing that. This is all they need to know.
Tony, I think just like you said, past practice.
Exactly.
And we're working under a new.
So as you're right. It's a new day. So that's what I'm telling you right now.
Okay, so what we're doing now.
I understand that, Ms. Brown.
Hold on, please. What we're trying to do now is to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Okay.
And get things done. Get you guys the things that you need to get the job done, as long as we can make sure that we're able to afford it. Okay.
Exactly.
So it's going to take all of us working together.
It do. I agree with you.
All right.
So with that said, Vice Mayor Brown, Public Works need a plow truck / leaf truck. Public Works need a minimum, probably 2 newer full-time employees.
Ms. Fitzgerald.
Now you know.
Ms. Fitzgerald is going to put that on her list, be on her agenda. Okay.
Yep, got it.
Much
So,
appreciated.
Is there anything else?
That's it. That's all I had.
Okay, I have a question, and I know it's crazy. I see your hand, Ms. Boyd, and I'll get to you. And I'm sure it's probably other places throughout the village, but I see it more because I'm constantly going up Wayne Avenue. I go to my mother's house every day, and it just drives me crazy. There's this one telephone pole tree where the tree and the leaves and the ivy is going over the wires that go across the street. Top of the street, pole wires. Who takes care of that? Who do we call to see if they could get those that cut down or whatever?
Does it have a lamp on it, or is just a pole with the wires, or does it have?
I don't believe it has a lamp on it. No.
If the tree, even if it don't, if the tree is tangled in the wire, or the tree is tangled in the wires, or a branch or leaf, whatever is tangled in the wires, we just have to notify Duke, and they'll send a crew out. They contract that out. They to come out and they prune the trees now once a year.
Okay. So now, is that something that you could take care of? We should have our code enforcer do that. I'm sure it's other places throughout the village that is the problem or an issue. I just happen to see it because I'm going up that street.
In fact, you should put it in cages.
And I think it just looks so unsightly.
You should put it in cages.
Okay. Will do.
It's a very effective way to track labor hours and complaints.
Okay. Will
Put it
do.
in cages, and the code enforcer, you should see it.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have any questions?
Are you talking about new business? I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my question is, they just completed the highway down on Glendale Milford. And I noticed that when you're coming up, I think that's west, coming up towards Kroger's, down, as soon as you pass the gas station that's on Glendale Milford, at the at the highway, and you're coming up towards this way, it's like the lines are all faded. The yellow lines and the white lines. What'd you say?
They just painted them this evening.
They just painted them. Great.
They did.
Because I was saying it looks so nice down there because it's so new, and when you come up past the gas station, they're so faded.
Well, let me say that they actually painted at the intersection of Chester and Glendale Road. Now, Chester, the Chester Road sides, yeah, Glendale is thermal paint where it lasts longer. But on the north side of Chester Road is actual paint, because we don't want to spend all that money for thermal paint when we're going to do something to that road hopefully next year. So, but the lines and the
So that's
arrows.
coming up Glendale Milford, right?
Right,
Glendale
that's
Milford.
done.
Okay.
It's done. Yeah.
Okay.
That
So great. I have a
intersection.
new driver, so
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
it's like, what happened to the lines?
Yeah, they're there. They painted them today.
Okay, great. I did not drive today, so great to hear.
Yeah, they were
That's
doing
my
it.
only question.
So
Who does
Okay.
the white, who takes care of the white striping on the outside of the lanes, the road? Like going down Sheffield Road?
going down Sheffield.
Yeah, the outside white,
The village, you're talking about the edge line, the villages, we're responsible for that.
are we?
We are.
Okay. But you don't have enough people, right?
Well, no, you want to do that professionally. You contract that out.
How many people, we're responsible for Sheffield Road from Springfield Pike all the way up Sheffield, the entire Sheffield, or does it get to Springfield Township?
We stopped just a little bit beyond the park maintenance
Okay.
shed.
It says Springfield Township, then we're not.
Yeah, our sign is right there on the left-hand side as you're traveling west.
Okay.
So yeah, we stopped just a little bit, couple feet after you pass the Glenwood Gardens maintenance facility.
I used Sheffield Road as an example, but any of the streets that need that white edging,
Mhm.
do you put that in your budget also?
I will. Street striping,
Mm-hmm.
I will.
Okay. And I say that because if you're driving at night,
Mhm.
you know, that's like, you see that line there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'll note that.
Okay.
I have one thing for new. Talking with our police chief, and he was wanted me to mention that we need some digital speed limit signs in 2 locations. One on Timberland and one on Riddle Road as you come about middle ways down. Told him I would get some cost estimates, and he can bring it up in safety.
Believe it or not, I don't know if any of you guys know, but there's a lot of speeders, believe it or not, on Timberland Drive. And we've mentioned this to Chief before. And I know it sounds kind of odd because it's a side street, but I've walked a lot these last 5 or 6 months, and I'm just surprised nobody's gotten hurt, to be honest. There's some serious speeding on our street.
Mhm. That's kind of all over too. I have the same issue over here. So,
And the development, just so you know, the development is also looking into ideas as well to try to understand what we can do as homeowners to try to stop the speeding. If it's a stop sign, I know that they're looking at a possible speed bumps. There's a lot of
You freezing, Pam? I mean, Ms. Fitzgerald.
Is it neighborhood kids that are doing this, or somebody
It's
coming
adult.
off of Chester and speeding through?
I've seen adults and middle-aged youth or whatever. Especially on Riddle Road now that it's been repaved. You don't got to worry about hitting any potholes now. They speed pretty.
Wow.
okay. Well, is there any other questions? Anything else? Come before the committee? If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'm making a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Tony.
Yes.
Thanks, Tony.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you all.
And I got compliments. They thought since I got on council, the roads were getting done. So I took the credit.
There you go.
Some of my friends that live in Wyoming, but they
Absolutely.
come that way. So they were impressed. Woodlawn got their roads taken care
All
of.
right.
They've been driving that road for 30 years. So
Sound like you got the mileage.
yeah, yeah. Thank you.